Welcome to the No Ideas original podcast featuring Shannon, Mr. Rob, and Ken, episode 176. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
What's good, bro? How you holding up, man?
Ain't shit. Yo, you know what I forgot to tell you? We got hit with like, I guess it was, I don't know if it's not a copyright strike, but a copyright claim for for the intro credits on the last episode.
Yeah,
I was kind of taken back by that because it's like it's happened before. It's hit or miss though. It's like sometimes they whoever it is put in a claim for it. Other times they let it rock. But they put in a claim. So with the video being monetized, any money we make off the video, they want to split.
Who was it?
I didn't even say. I didn't even look. I was just like, in my mind, I'm like, that just means that we got to find new intro music.
Yeah.
Game over for you. We got to find new intro music. But we got a really good episode tonight with a dope MC, a dope artist. We got Mr. Midaz the Beats, dope writer too.
Yeah. Joining
us. Peace. What's up, Midaz? Your mic is muted. Unmute your mic.
Yep, still muted.
You gotta unmute yourself. But while we waiting for Midaz, I know y'all had an opportunity to listen to some of the music. I was listening to Last of Mohicans. Yo, he definitely got some crazy wordplay. Still got you muted.
His wordplay is crazy, son.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has just switched to my other shit. I'm back.
There you go.
Yo, so welcome to the podcast, man. We appreciate you pulling up.
Peace.
Yo, let me ask you right off the rip. So, he's talking behind the scenes. You were saying, originally New York, spent time in Maryland, but Orlando is home now, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What's the hip? And I don't know how long you've been down in Orlando, so you can let us know. Like, how long?
A long time, 20 years.
20 years. What's the hip hop scene like
in Orlando,
down in Orlando? And how did you get the name Midaz the Beast?
Yeah, so I get that first question all the time. People are very fascinated by what hip hop is in Orlando.
Yeah.
So to me, it's funny because it made me feel like, damn, like people really like. So let me reverse the question before I ask it, because I actually got this question a bunch of times.
What do you think?
Why is that question so interesting to everybody? What's the perception?
I mean, when you think of Orlando, you think of Disney. That's what you think.
That's one, and it's interesting to me because it's like there are certain areas you think about in the trajectory of hip hop that's like staples. You like New York had a run. You start thinking about Atlanta. You think the South, you may think like New Orleans. You're gonna think the West Coast. You're gonna think LA. If I think Florida, I'm like, all right, Miami. But then Orlando, I'm like, what's going on in Orlando?
Take me to Orlando. What are the streets like in Orlando, son?
So look, it's interesting because the thing about Orlando is, Florida is a retirement state.
Right.
A lot of people move to Florida to retire. So there's a New York, Florida thing.
Oh, I got you.
There's a New York Orlando thing. There's a New York Tampa thing. There's a New York Miami thing, right. where a lot of people. Bro. Everybody that's tired of New York and want to get out of that fast city life and all of that, they moved to Florida. You know what I'm saying? So there's in my age bracket, and even I would say the 5 years up and down around my age bracket, there's a lot of people who parents or grandparents had come down. So you weren't necessarily born in Orlando. You was born up top, but then you came down and then we ran into a bunch of other niggas that oh shit. It was an ill culture shock because I got put on the hip hop by my uncles and whatever like that. And
shout out to your uncles too, bro, for putting you.
Yo, I always, every interview I let it be known. My uncles put me on game, like them is my niggas. But they put me on game, and then like they was the ones telling me what's ill and what's not. Like I was just like, you soak it up like a sponge. Like, yo, this is ill, this is not ill. You know what I mean? So when I get down here, now mind you, me and my mother and my father, we moved down here. My uncles hadn't moved down here yet. We came down first. So like I come down already on defense about, like what's L. Like, nah, nigga, I'm on some this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep it young. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on this shit. And there was, like we running into a lot of people that was, especially in like the middle school era, you running into like the Bone Thugs heads and like there was a lot of this and a lot of that. And then like anybody that sounded like they was not from the South, they called you Wu-Tang. It didn't matter. Yo, so listen, if you were like, yo, man, I really like Cool G rap, they'd be like, man, get out of here with all that Wu-Tang shit.
It generalizes this Wu-Tang stuff.
Yo, above the Mason Dixon is Wu-Tang. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't Wu-Tang, right? So, but it was dope to start to, like running into heads that's like, yo, you know about that? You know about this? So like we would all click up, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure the way it happened in my school it happened like that in a lot of the schools. Like like-minded hip hop heads would find each other, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And there was a hip hop, there was a show that started at the at UCF at the college out here. There was an open mic / battle that happened every Monday. It was called the Hush Show, Hip Hop's Underground Safe Haven. And this started back in 2000, you know what I'm saying, type shit. And real talk, it was kind of like it was like 8 Mile, you know what I'm saying? Like you would go there and it was real energy and it was real beef and it was real like MCs and they, and like a lot of us honed our skill and went through that gauntlet and then came out on the other side doing things in the industry. So that was really what it was. And since then, a lot of the same cats that I ran into back then are still doing music and doing a lot of things. So Orlando's got a lot of ill MCs. There's a lot. I've been talking to my man. I would love to work on a documentary about what goes on out here and how people, because there's a lot of stories out here.
You should, man. Orlando need to be put on a map, bro.
Yeah.
That is the last place I would have thought I heard an MC like yourself come from or come out of.
Yeah.
Now I know you got New York ties. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And shout out to your mom. You said, I think I watched your mom's is in So, and what's crazy is rare that you hear about that in hip hop, where the uncles influence, the moms are super supportive, and here you are, this MC. Like, Jesus Christ, man, they were just pouring it. Was it in your bottle or something?
So listen, mom's is, I like a lot of New York kids. My mom's was a young mom, had me when she was 17. And mom's was in the cocaine 80s, man. Mom's was running around. Mom's was running around with fucking Pepper from Salt and Pepper and shit. Mom's was going to the club with Rakim, and Mom's was going to the club with fucking Positive K and all types of shit. You know what I'm saying? So like that, there was that energy too. And then like, funny story about my mom, this will be a quick one, but I got to give her a shout out. So when, I started rhyming and trying to be serious rhyming when I maybe was 17, let's say, right? Like I'm trying to do shit. I'm trying to run around, I'm battling people, whatever. So there was a Wu-Tang show in Orlando. And, at this point in time, I still had a curfew and shit, so like I wasn't really whatever. So I it was the first concert I ever went to. Me and a bunch of my homeboys, we went to the Wu-Tang show.
Right.
It was actually the RZA as Bobby Digital.
Oh, okay.
And he had Killer Army opening for him, and he had Black Knights opening for him. So Get to the show. Show's dope. I battle Monk from Black Knights in the crowd. And I cipher with Don Pacino, right? So, and Beretta 9 from Kill Army sitting there, he's like, yo, you're nasty. I'm gonna take you back to beat RZA. I'm like, yeah, that's fire. Like, let's get it. So you know, like I'm a kid. I take that real serious. This nigga gonna take me to beat, right? So after the show, the show's pouring out. I'm waiting. I'm supposed to go meet RZA and shit. So nobody else is like, the whole crowd is gone, and then the security trying to kick everybody out, and I'm like, no, I'm about to meet RZA. Like,
hold on.
Yeah, I can't be kicked out, fam. Like, I gotta meet RZA. So I'm fighting. Then I see Beretta 9. He with one of the girls we came with. She was 2 years older than us, right? So I'm 17. She like 19, 20. He walking with her, and I'm like, yo, them is my people over there. Mind you, she came with us. So I'm like, where you going? She was like, nah, I'm just talking to him, whatever like that. I'm like, all right, no doubt. I was like, yo, so she was like, yo, matter of fact, he don't got no ride to the hotel. And I'm like, I mean, we in a minivan. We in a minivan. I'm like, we deep in the van, but he could get in like on the floor. So we end up taking him. We end up taking him to the hotel. But this long story short, my curfew is. I'm coming up on this curfew. I'm supposed to be home in the next 20 minutes. So I'm like, oh fuck, man, like this is not looking good.
Yeah, you pushing it, yo.
So look, in the whip, call my mother, and I'm like, Mom, listen, mind you, Beretta 9 is from Kill Army. I'm like, Mom, listen, I'm on the way to the Wu-Tang Hotel to meet the RZA. I need you to like let me live this life. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, nah, do your thing. Let me know what happened when you get there.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I was getting it.
Listen,
that's
man,
cool.
You got a crazy hip hop story, bro. You gotta let that be known, man.
Yeah, no, there's a lot, man. There's a lot.
That's good stuff, man. Yeah, y'all.
Yeah, man. So, man, I listened to your stuff, man. You got a lot of clever and wit with your stuff, man. I'm loving it because that's not like what we get a chance to hear most of the stuff that's coming out now. So I'm gonna ask you a question. You might have heard this question. Is there any of these young cats or different people that you actually say you rock with that?
Young cats?
Yeah. Look at his face.
I'm dig too deep.
I mean, you know what?
It's painful.
All right, so like the niggas that I would want to be big, like they not even young no more type shit. Like I fuck with Migos and shit. Like I like me, but they not young niggas.
Yeah, they not. Yeah. I got you. Yeah, that's a good one. I'll take that.
But I like. You know what, bro? Like I like flavor. So like whatever sauce it is, if it's flavorful sauce, like I'm with the shits. But the sauce gotta be flavorful though. And I think some of the miss with a lot of this new shit is that the sauce don't be flavorful. It be different,
but it
don't be flavorful.
Ain't got no seasoning.
It ain't got no seasoning, and I need seasoning. I need flavor, you know. And like I'll keep it a buck. It's real tough to get into a lot of stuff. And I'll tell you, the worst of it be the underground shit, like the indies. That's the most trash of the shit. Like it would be tough to get into a lot of the newer stuff. I'm not gonna front.
It's funny you mentioned the underground because I kind of feel like that. I don't know if an underground actually exists anymore. And the reason why I say that is because if you think about what quote unquote would constitute mainstream, it used to be, you know, if you get radio play, you mainstream. But how many artists are actually on the radio now? Like, I don't know what's in rotation in Orlando, but you may get in New York and Connecticut, you may get Drake, Future, Travis Scott, maybe a J. Cole. It's not what it used to be. So is there really, I guess, a disparity between quote unquote underground and mainstream now, or has the playing field even?
To me, it's not just underground and mainstream. There's a couple layers. There's layers. You know what I'm saying? So there's your top of the charts guys, right? And then there's like the level under that, you know what I mean? And you could go for a few levels. So like, for instance, right? Like what would you guys consider Griselda to be?
I don't consider, probably that middle level.
So let's just go with the middle level. So if they're at the middle level, there's a whole army of motherfuckers right under them. So what are they considered? You know what I'm saying? Like they're not on that level. And then there's a whole army of motherfuckers under that level. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like there's a few rungs to that ladder. And there's probably like names that you could throw around that could be like the name of said ladder. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, because it's just really interesting. Like,
Underground got a lot of guys in underground making.
There's a lot.
Hold on. Let me ask you this though. Like before, we had a criteria set for what constitutes underground. So what actually constitutes underground now? What is the criteria that makes you underground? Because most people want to be independent. Most people do their own little distribution or whatever it is. A lot of people record themselves, and not too many people playing on the radio. So what's the criteria that makes somebody underground at this point?
I think it's probably your I think the easiest way would be like your social media following. You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, you look at some guys, man, like, all right, so like what's Planet Asia? You know what I'm saying? Like, is he
my nigga? I love Planet Asia.
That's big bro. Yeah. So like, but that's a question. Like, so what it is, Planet Asia's at 100,000 followers on IG, right? Like across social media, he might have 150,000 followers. We consider that like what rung of the ladder is that? And those are questions I don't really know the answer to, but I do think that social media probably plays into that a little bit.
Yeah, wonder if the vernacular is kind of shifting from underground to probably like more like something like purist, like kind of thing. Like maybe the narrative around it is changing a little bit, because I remember before, like
Spotify streams probably play into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But we used to have very clear criteria. Like, oh, this dude's a backpack rapper, you know, and it was because they didn't get no spins, or we felt that they didn't sell tons of albums, but ain't nobody selling no albums.
I look at it a little differently, because like the term backpack to me meant you was a nerd rapper. You was around, like when I was growing up, like backpack rappers was Common, and it was Talib Kweli, and like
Black Moon was considered black.
See, you know what's funny about that? We didn't consider that backpack in my area. Like to me, backpack meant you was rapping about the black women and
wouldn't that be conscious though?
Well, yeah, but like that was kind of all like in one thing, right? Yeah. At some point, there was a separation of backpack and conscious. You know what I'm saying? and then, yeah, conscious was more like the incense and that type of shit. And then maybe at that point, Black Moon and shit was like, oh, remember that backpack shit? Like it's crazy how it all is like shapes and moves and shit.
Yeah, we had criteria was also, you look at the record label, like this person's not on a major record label, they underground, you know. Right. But now who's on the it's just so it's shifted so much to me. And I feel like that a lot of probably the people who would be considered mainstream today may be a little bit envious of the people who would be considered underground or purists, because the people that are underground and purists, I think, have a lot more control of creatively. I think also the purse strings as well, you know, so the push that you probably get from being major is significant, and it helps you get that major look. But I think like the financial benefit of it may not be as great as what people think. And that brings me to the next thing I was wondering, and I was thinking about like, do you get the impression that people that, again, going with this whole thing around like mainstream and underground, do you get the impression that you have a longer shelf life for an artist that may be independent or underground versus a mainstream artist?
I think you've got to create a fan base, and then you got to create real fans. You know what I'm saying? And if you create real fans, you have longevity. And if you don't, maybe the ceiling could be higher, but you don't have the longevity. You know, that real fans thing, it's real, bro. Like you gotta. There's too many options. You know what I'm saying? Like listeners have too many options. And what I also say is there's a lot of listeners that aren't fans. So some of the numbers are hollow. You know what I'm saying? Like my sister who is, I think, maybe 11 or 12 years younger than me, she's not a real music fan. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's no shade to her, but she's just not a real music fan. Mm-hmm. She likes music, you know what I'm saying? But she don't give a fuck about music in no real way, right? So like, now she probably super contributes to some Spotify numbers of some, you know what I'm saying? But she ain't no real fan. She ain't buying nothing. She's not going to no concert. She's not, you know what I'm saying? So like, sometimes I think some of the numbers can be not, you know, they're hollow. Accurate, they don't mean as much. Yeah, they could be accurate, but they probably don't mean as much. So like my whole big thing, especially even me as an artist, is like, how do I transition people from being like numbers into being real fans? Like real fans.
That's a real good point.
They show up every time that we drop something.
Right.
You know, they interact, whatever the case may be. But how do you locate those people? You know what I'm saying? How do you get them to find you? You know, that's more of the thing to me, I think.
Yeah, that's a great point. You know, and it makes me think. Sorry, Rob. This last point.
I was gonna piggyback over what you said. Finish.
Yeah, it makes me think about, though. Like, again, going back to the purist thing. Like, we had Master Ace on the show before, and he was talking about how he you know, like how well he performs overseas versus how his shows look here. And I guess it's kind of speaks to what you're saying about, like, you know, like hollow versus like real fans. Like, those are real fans that he could probably go and sell all his merch, and you know, they know his records word for word. You know, so, and you know, I kind of feel like that there may be a longer shelf life for people that are independent or maybe purists or maybe underground artists versus the mainstream dude who pop. They have one record, they tour the country one time with it. You know, unless you have a super big record, you know, eventually it's going to dry out, and that's it for you.
Well, but to that same point, though, to your earlier point, I think everybody, it's one industry in a way that it probably never had been before nowadays. Like, we're all playing the same game now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all on Spotify. We're all on, you know, we're all on the same DSPs. Like, to me, that means we all on the same major label. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it kind of like we all in the same boat. Now, our reach as far as, you know, like who could find us is different, but you know, like it's kind of one game that you're just trying to level up in. I think before there was a couple games, you know what I'm saying? Like, because there were different outlets in that way. So I don't know, it's tough. I will say though, man, like it's really difficult to stand out when every single person on the planet has the opportunity to be an artist.
You know, that's like, a great point.
The technology part of it, I talk about this all the time with people. The technology really changed music in ways that I don't think people really understand. Like, all right, so Bet, right? When you was Sam Cooke, right? And you wanted to make a song, you had to A, be talented, B, know of a studio, C, know musicians that you could go to the studio with, right? Then you also had to get to the studio, right? You had to make sure they got to the studio. Right. All had to happen at the same time with no phones or nothing, right? Then once y'all got in the studio, y'all had to create from scratch, right? Like you didn't come to the studio, like you might have came to the studio with an idea, but a lot of times it was playing and jamming in the studio and what's that? Yo, let's keep that. And then like you created right then. And it cost money, right? So like all of those factors, in my opinion, weeded people out. For real. You know what I'm saying? Like if you really wasn't that talented, you really wasn't going through all of that to press a record. You know what I'm saying? I think that way that we used to weed out the unserious and the not talented, that's dead. Like everybody gets in, You know what I'm saying? And it's up to the fan, the listeners to weed out, but they don't weed out. So, here we are. You know what I'm saying?
Sam Cooke ain't have 48 tracks either.
We were releasing them every week.
But so you got to think, a super talented artist beget super talented listeners, right? So like the more untalented or less talented artists that permeate, imagine how many millions more untrained listeners there are that can boost them up. And now you're fighting uphill with legitimate art. You know what I'm saying? Like my sister, no shade, though, like she wouldn't be able to tell the fucking difference, bro. She don't, you know what I mean? Is it jamming to me?
Right. And interest is what creates fans. And we're speaking about fans and how and purists and locating these individuals. How do we do that? How do we do that as a creative, creating these lanes for people to come and pay attention to our music? And specifically for you, you know, when was it when you hearing words and similes and metaphors and all of that? What was in there when you was hearing that made you want to become an MC, and more importantly, make you write so competitively?
That's a good question. Being young niggas that grew up, you know, in, you know, impoverished and all of that type of shit. Like we always had older homies to look up to and all that type of shit. And like, you know, like my uncles them niggas was lit to me. You know what I'm saying? Like my uncles was lit. My uncle had the 93 Diamante. He was out here. Yeah, I was like, yo, I'm trying to be like this nigga, right?
Listen, not a Diamante.
No, son, it was like the cream deal.
That's a classic whip right
there.
I
used to be like, I need to have a Diamante. Like this has to happen. But like, you know, like I would get into my uncle's car, and I feel like these experiences. I mean, I don't know. You know, I'm not a kid now. But I feel like these experiences aren't the same, you know? I would get in my uncle's car, and that, like, getting in my uncle's car was so lit. Like, I don't think niggas understand, like, oh, your uncle gonna take you. Word? Like, oh, shit. Like,
you're right?
Yeah, like, yo, what we doing? And then I would get in the car, and then my uncle was playing music I wouldn't hear nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would get in my car, and I'm hearing, I fucking. I'm like, what is this? This is mad. This shit, right? And he put me on game. He like, yo, so this is Nas. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knew, but yo, he's ill. Like, yo, peep what he did right here. I'm a kid. I'm like, oh shit, like, you know, that's what's up. Yeah. So like, I guess that's me saying I was able to get schooled to what was right. what to listen for. You know what I'm saying? And even going a little bit deeper than that, like my uncle, you know, I grew up a Michael Jackson head, like everybody grew up a Michael Jackson head, right? But my uncle was a Prince head, and my uncle was really about like, yeah, but Prince play all the musicians. I mean, he play all the instruments, and he's singing all the different, you know, octaves, and he's putting me on to like, all right, you got to understand the talent. You got to understand what's ill, not just what you hear, but like understand what's ill. Yeah, like understand why it's ill. You know what I'm saying? Like not just that it's ill, but why it's ill. You know what I'm saying? And I went through that education, and then my other uncles, that was my uncle on my father's side that had the Diamante. My other uncles, my uncle Jermaine, who's closest to my age, Jermaine was a wild boy, and you know he was the first person in my family I knew that rapped. So my uncle Jermaine was rapping, and my cousin Randy was rapping. So I would go into their room, and they'd be in there playing tapes and freestyling, and I'm like, this is lit. Like So I used to try to. I wouldn't tell them, but I used to try to write little rhymes and shit. And I remember one day I told my uncle, I'm like, yo, they was in. I was like, yo, next time y'all cipher, I got something. He was like, what? Nah. So yo, I came in there with this paper, bro, and I probably still have it somewhere. But I'm talking margin to margin, front, back, words, the whole shit. So
100 balls.
Yo, 50,000 bars. You know. So I remember I was kicking my shit, and he was like, "Yo, that shit is trash." You know what I'm saying? Like, but I just wanted to be down. Like, I thought it was ill. I wanted to be down. So, like, kept working on it, man. And I think my advantage. I've always said, like, I don't consider myself a great MC. I consider myself a great listener. And my ability to be a great listener allows me to not write at a high skill level, but to
being modest, bro.
To critique myself at a high skill level, so that the stuff that makes it out is ill, because I can hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know when it's not that. You know what I'm saying? And the shit that's not that, y'all don't hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's that level of being able to edit and be like, that's not it, or that is it. Like, having a good enough ear and being honest with yourself allows you to be able to do that. And I think that's what allowed me to keep getting better and better, because I just wanted to be ill,
Yeah, Lana, let me just repeat this real quick. Cause this guy right here, bro. When it comes to writing, right? So I wrote down one of your joints, bro, because I had
Wait. You wrote it down?
No, I wrote it. I had to write it down. Like, I'm gonna make sure I don't fuck this.
Okay, all right.
I'm listening to your joint, and this shit, and it blew my mind because it brought me back, son. We all WWF fan. But
Griselda. I'm not gonna lie, bro. When Westside Gunn started doing the wrestling shit, I was like, damn, fuck, I missed that one. Because I've been on that. And I'm like, yo, I know all this shit. I was like, see, I can't even do it now because I'm gonna look like I'm biting this nigga. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
But the guard said, foot on their throat. As soon as they tapping in, parents cackling. I chicken wing them like Bob Backlund.
I know that one.
Yeah. No, just I was smoked as hell. I just like, oh shit, rewind that.
Yeah,
you, bro, and that's why I asked you about words, similes, phrases, and so forth, and what encouraged you. Because when I hear what you're writing, I'm like, yo, this guy, like you said, you want people to hear this shit 10 years and be like, yo, I didn't hear that in 72. How come I missed that?
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of an MC for me personally, because it keeps me on the journey of wanting to listen to you. What else you got? What else did he say? Then you hear another beat. It's like, he rapped on that. Let me hear what else he said.
Yeah.
That to me is a testament of dope.
Yo, what's the other line? But flame to your head like Pepsi, or put the heat to your head like Pepsi? Remember the last Mohicans?
I put the fire to his head. Pepsi. I put the fire to his head. Pepsi. He wouldn't dance. Now he dance quick. No Nestle.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this dude.
No, it's the combination of wordplay, similes, and if you were there, if you know, because there's things in there that might go with some people here, like you said that they don't know who the hell Bob Backlund is or what a chicken wing is.
So check it out. Growing up, all right. So now that I'm, in my teenage years and shit, one thing I've always been like interested in guys who were smart. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you sounded smart, I was like, I want to rock with you. So like, I was a big, I would probably say like in 96, my favorite rapper in 96 was RZA. You know what I'm saying? Like, which is kind of bugged out. Like, who says their favorite rapper? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my favorite producer.
Yeah, I got a couple friends who was on RZA. Like, nah, fuck everybody else. I love RZA.
No, because he just sounded dumb smart, bro. Like, I was like, yo, this nigga knows everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just, I think growing up listening to the Nas's and listening to the RZAs and just different MCs, the Rakims and everybody that I had the opportunity to be exposed to. And then you're listening to music that's above your grade level. So I don't know what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot that I'm listening to and I'm feeling it, but I don't think I understand it. So it turned me into a researcher, right? Like, okay, now I need to know what they're talking about. I need to understand what this is and blah, 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 blah. And just kind of melding all of those things kind of into developing my own, my own style. And it took me a while, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you were privy to some of the music I was making in the early 2000s, it's a different set of circumstances, you know what I'm saying? Because I was still trying to figure out where my angle was and what my thing was. I think I always had it in my head, but I didn't know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? And I also didn't have the production that allowed me to do it either. Like I kind of had a sound in my head. I had it. I knew exactly the rapper I wanted to be. Like the guy that you hear on Mohicans, like I wanted to be that guy in 2001. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't. Right. I didn't have the control over my voice. I didn't have the access to the right production for my instruments. Yeah, all of that, right? So like it took me and it took me a lot of years of performing and being in front of crowds and like kind of just understanding like, okay, this works, this don't, this works, this don't, and figuring out what's my right tempo to rap to, and what's the right cadence, all of that. Yeah. But in all of that, the through line was I gotta be the illest nigga. Like my goal is to be the illest nigga. Like let's not get it fucked up. And even to this day, it don't. I'm gonna keep it a stack. It don't really help. That mentality is not helpful in 2023, right? Because everybody wants to feel like, like I don't like when people be like, nah, yo, be humble. Fuck all that. Fuck humble, nigga. I'm out to murder these niggas. Everybody gotta die, nigga. I don't give a fuck. And that's not community shit.
It's a sport though. It's a sport. Yeah. It's the same way you get on the court. It's a sport.
But you know what? I respect it because think about it. Just in the conversation we have right now, you level set. So you're not out there putting shit out saying that everything you do is the greatest. You listen to and be like, nah, that ain't it. There's people that's out there that everything they think they do is the greatest shit. And we know it's not, but they don't feel that way. Right. You got the passion and you like, if you could recognize that ain't it and move forward, then you putting that foot forward out there.
Well, and one thing I'll add to that is what you could tell me this album is not your favorite, this song is not your favorite. That's fine. What nobody will ever tell me is you not nice. You didn't bar out on that. No. Every joint gets murdered. Like let's not play funny with that. Like every joint gets murdered. And I even sometimes try to evoke it. Like I'll pull it out. Like, it's funny, man. I had an interview the other day and the nigga was like, yo, there was a couple MCs in the room and I had not ever met any of these niggas. So he was just like, yo, so like what you trying to do? I'm like, murder all these niggas. Like everybody's got that. And it was a weird energy in the room, obviously. But like, yo, and I feel good about it because I know what I do. I know, like what I always tell people is the bravado of being a super MC is that, but I'm in the gym though. So like, I know what I do. Like, so I feel very confident in how I gets busy because I know the time I put in. I know the work I put in. I know the dedication I put to it. I know the years behind it. I know the 10,000 hours twice over. Like, so now I'm talking shit about it. So what's up? You know what I mean? So like that's kind of the energy that I'm on.
Yeah. You've been killing it for years though, because I went back. I'm looking at some stuff. I'm like the 2013 Wordsworth performance. I'm like, that's
wow.
Yeah, you like that one, right?
Shout out my guy Wordsworth.
That was crazy right there. I'm like, damn. And had the interview right after the performance.
Right in the streets, son.
Right in the streets.
I watched the interview where you talked about producers overproducing, and I'm guessing that's where the concept of loops 1 and loops 2 came from. But and I kind of feel like in the same vein as you, like I think that producers sometimes can overproduced, but from your perspective, I'm just interested in knowing like what constitutes overproduction.
Good question, Shop.
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think that's a beauty in the eye of the beholder question a little bit, because overproduction to me is not the same as overproduction to somebody else, and that's mainly because, to keep it a stack, like I produce, you know what I'm saying? Like I am a producer in my head. Like I am a producer. What I am not is a beat maker. You know what I'm saying? I don't punch the pads, but I produce. Like I put all my records together. There's no input elsewhere. If you hear samples, intros, outros, this, that, like all of that comes out of my head. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like I need the space to be creative. Mm-hmm. I guess that's where overproducing comes in. Now, I am super open to like other ideas and, you know, whatever like that. Like if we in the lab and, oh, you got an idea, and I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Yeah, let's do that. Da, 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 da. All of that, that's all love. But like sometimes, you know, producers will have an agenda and they want to get their production nut off. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then them wanting to get their production nut off is in contrast to the record a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? So like there's and to give producers some credit, me probably trying to get my rhyme nut off, do the same thing. Right? So like it's about us finding a happy medium between like building for the song and not so much for the skill of it, I guess you could say.
Two creatives going back and forth and trying to figure out how you can mesh things together.
Yeah. But I will say, just to answer your question a different way, what I learned about myself is that I have, first of all, I need space. And second, you know, when you have a voice, like the kind of voice that I have, like I just need records that aren't so busy. You know, my voice is an instrument in itself. You know? So like the busier the record, the more difficult it is for me to play. I need more of a canvas to lay on, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Is it that producers they when they're making music is too much distraction in the beat? Too many. Yeah,
like I'm not real big on like the super busy. Like I like melody, I like vibe, but I don't really like busy. So like, you know, so like on my podcast, I do a podcast called Making Nomadic with my man Sean Kantrowitz from The Questions, and like we did LP. What was that record? What was the first LP record? No, not Funk Crusher Plus. We did. Yeah, Funk Crusher Plus. We did Funk Crusher Plus, and it's, you know, LP from back then was busy, like mad drums everywhere, just mad sounds and shit, and that's a lot for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just remember being like, Jesus Christ, like I would have been so stressed out trying to write to these shits. Like I need more melody, more vibe, and then I can kind of, because to me, I provide the busy.
Right.
You know? Like I'm the busy.
You need a groove. You need something to groove to.
I think though, like what happens though sometimes is like, you know, like sometimes the technical know-how may get in the way. Like when you have the technical understanding and stuff, sometimes it hinders like the simplicity and the creativity of it. Like there are things that I hear that I'm like, yo, that's perfect with just that's why I was intrigued by the loop stuff. Like, oh, loop that's perfect with just a loop kind of thing. But then there is that piece of producers wanting to get their production nut off, and you know, they want to do a lot of stuff. Like I think sometimes it sounds really good. Sometimes it can be a little bit too much, and sometimes it stifles what the song actually could be. I think about like some of the records that I've heard that have been very simple records that have been well produced. That, you know, like if you think about like the Alchemist, Coochie Rap, Mobb Deep, you know, like what's The Realist, I think it's called. Yeah. Very simple, yeah. Like this.
Yeah, but a lot of like hip hop fans will fuck it up too, because you don't understand how many fans hit me with you don't like drums? You don't want to rap on drums? Like you hate drums? And I'm like, yo, I don't hate drums and shit. Like, you know, like what kind of shit is that? I don't hate drums, nigga. Like I like drums, but fuck, bro, I've been rapping for 20 years. Like, I done rapped on all the drum patterns. Like, unless you niggas is coming up with really new, innovative, ill drums, like, let me rap on this shit that give me some new ideas and some new flavors and shit. Like, a lot of this shit is, like, you know, whatever. But, like, the boom back crowd will force your hand into, like, nah, you got to do it like this, or you not hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of whack. And I'm going to tell you, I get hit with it all the time, bro. Like, it's kind of annoying.
Yo, all right, so here's the irony of it, though. Cult classic record right now, that's probably this dude's biggest record of all time, Meek Mill, Dreams and Nightmares. Like, I guess it's the, you know, the crescendo or of that record that it gets to that level and gets that hype. But look how many people love that record. There are no drums involved in that record at the beginning.
No.
There's a simple piano riff.
It's about flavor, bro. Like, is it fire or is the shit not fire? Like, to me, that's where we at. And like, if you look at Al, to your point, like Al, what Al be doing and shit, like it's flavor, bro. And if you could catch the vibe of it, but I think a lot of the to use that word you used earlier, like a lot of purists, they not with the shits. They like, yo, you're bastardizing our genre.
I don't hear the hi-hats. The hi-hats in the
you're killing our genre. I'm like, word? Like, to keep it a stack, I'm an early adopter of rhyming over no drums. I started, you know, you could probably go back in my catalog, and I think the first thing that I did on something with no drums was like maybe like 2005, 2004. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas wasn't on that. You know what I mean? Way back then, there was a select few. There's always been joints like that throughout the years, but niggas wasn't on that. Niggas definitely wasn't doing whole projects and shit. Like, that wasn't a thing. And what it was for me was, because I'm a producer, but I don't hit the buttons. Like, I had ideas for records, and I would take my ideas to producers, and they would take the sample. Like, I'd be like, yo, take this. And then they would make the beat, and it would just not be what I heard in my head. Like, oh, this didn't happen like what I thought. So I was like, fuck it. I'll just loop these shits up myself and just rap over the part I want to rap on the way I want to rap on it. Yeah. And I remember, like, when I took that shit, when I was first taking them joints to get, you know, to mix them and stuff, Toots was like, all right, so you want me to put the drums right here? Like, nah, I don't want you to do nothing to it. Like, it's where it needs to be.
The way it is.
You know what's a crazy loop? Like, I think about, like, Solidify for me that, okay, it could just be whatever. Remember, Ghost had the joint over the Delphonics?
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, and that's that I think is another level of creativity, like risk taking, the ability to feel comfortable with risk taking.
Yeah, you know, most crowds I get in front of, right, are hearing me more or less for the first time, right? So I had to make a artistic conscious decision at one point where I was like, all right, do I want to get up here and sell you a song, or do I want to get up here and sell you that I'm the illest nigga alive? Like, which one of these things am I gonna sell you, right? So I just decided, and so because I would watch, bro, everything hip hop I was doing analytically, and I'm watching, like, and I'm gonna tell you, I saw Sean Price perform one time, and it changed my whole. It was like a light bulb went off. P went up, and it was the first time that I ever seen somebody rap live where the crowd hung on every word that he was saying.
Right.
It wasn't about the song. It was about, like,
what came after that. What are you gonna say next?
They were reacting to bars.
Right.
And at most hip hop shows of independent artists and stuff like that, you're not reacting to bars. You're hearing the record for the first time, right? And mugs go do their joints with all the hook, the big hook and whatever. And I was like, you know what, bro? I'm gonna flip this. Like, and I just started doing shows where I would just go up and put the beat, put something on and rap. And I was saying to myself, like, and then my homeboy would be like, yo, why you don't do, like, you know, you got some songs, like, you don't do that song? I'm like, yeah, but they not gonna understand me though.
Yeah.
Like, I need niggas to walk away going, did you hear this nigga? Like, this nigga's crazy. And then if they want to hear the songs, they'll go find me, and then they can hear the songs. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's about, to me, the loops gave me that was the first time that I created space for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, those joints gave me the space to be crazy with it and do different schemes and then say things that I've always been rhyming crazy, but it just seemed like people started coming up to me after the loop shit came out like, yo, you said it. I'm like, yo, I've been saying shit like this, but
you can really hear it now.
You can hear it now, you know, in a different way. So that's really where that really kind of became a thing for me.
Yeah. Speaking of production, who do you love working with or enjoy working with when you don't have that, the word I'm looking for?
The battle? Well, I don't have the fight.
Yeah, well, you ain't got to fight.
You know what, man? Like, if you look at my last few projects and shit, like, I keep my circle pretty tight.
Who was on Devil's Playground?
So Devil's Playground was my man Deli Digger, and that's like kind of my main.
There's a lot, yeah. I've heard.
That's a dope. I like.
We did Devil's Playground. We did Where the Sidewalk Ends, and we did 84, 87. And if you look at those projects, it's just me and Deli. Ain't no features, ain't no outside production or nothing. Like, just getting busy. So me and Deli got a real where I linked up with Deli was when I started hearing Deli, when Deli started sending me beats, I was like, oh, he's got the same sensibilities I do about how the joints could be. And then I was like, well, fuck it, I don't need to do loops no more because this nigga does the loops and he produces them. Like, this is phenomenal. Like, he does the next thing that I couldn't do because I don't press the button. So Deli, my man Sharp, shout out my man Sharp. He do a lot of my stuff. I work with Dirty Diggs out in LA. Shout out big bro Ono the Disrupt, do a lot of stuff for Ono. Just a lot, I got guys that are my friends, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's really what I work with.
All
right. Yeah, Ken.
And I listened to an interview with him. You said something I thought was cool where you was explaining the breakdown of money, and like if you had 100 fans, you were talking about how I believe it was Planet Age asked for $40, and you was like, I could get 20, and if I get 100 people to get it and stuff. Talk about that a little bit, because I don't think people understand that how to monetize, basically turn certain followers to consumers, and like how instead of like everybody trying to get $1 million off the top, how you can make money straight through without this big thing.
Well, they go back to you need fans. You know what I'm saying? Like it sounds kind of like obvious, but like I'm gonna tell you, it's not, bro. I had a conversation with some guys, some local guys here in Orlando recently. We were having this conversation, and I'm like my newest album, Last of Mohicans, is out, and it's on Bandcamp. It's not on none of the DSPs. I don't even have none of the songs available on Bandcamp. Like you can't even listen to it on Bandcamp. You know what I'm saying? And so like there's that. So like I was telling somebody, and they was like, "Yo, I'm gonna do that too." I was like, "You probably shouldn't do that." Like I don't know if that's a good idea. And it was like, "Well, yo, but I'm trying to make this money." It's like, yeah, but you got to get fans first. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have any fans, like if you're
nobody's gonna buy it,
then you're just want people to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like people need to hear your shit so they can buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like my take on that was, bro, like I got a lot of music out. So like if you want to hear, like you could go on DSPs right now and like there's a lot of stuff for you to hear. You know what I'm saying? And to me, there's a level of quality that's been established and whatever to where like you know what it is then. You know what I'm saying? So like if you fuck with the shit, if you like what I've done over the years, then like you don't feel stressed about going to go cop this next shit, even though you haven't heard it. Like,
right.
And I stole that from watching Roc Marciano put his shit out over the last couple of years, and like the nigga Roc put the last album out, not the Alchemist shit, the one before that. The nigga put the zip on his website for $50. Nigga, the zip. A zip file was $50 fucking, nigga. And there wasn't no single, nothing. It was just like, yo, if you want this shit, $50. And guess what? We bought the shit because nigga, it's Roc Marciano. Like I know what he gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Like he gonna get busy. So my thought was like, you know what I'm gonna do. If you don't, you probably shouldn't be here in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Go familiar. And there's gonna be more stuff that's gonna be on DSPs and things of that nature. But you know, like maybe some of this stuff we could hold back, and you got to come over here for this one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think Illa G is trying to do that now too, because I think Illa G got illag.net or something like that. I think he's trying to
just come. You know, if you like Illa G, just go straight to Illa G, bro. And you know, like you see Kyle on the corner doing the hand to hands, like I'm with the shit. And you got to be a little creative, I think, in your approach. If your approach is about making a couple dollars. Now, if your approach is about getting more fans, I think it's the same concept, but it's a different approach. Because you got to get fans first. You got to find your pocket of people that like the kind of thing you do. And there's so many little genres in hip hop, like so many, right? So like, I'll give you an example. Like, you know, shout out my guy Wordsworth, right? So Wordsworth and Benny the Butcher, like these niggas is not in the same genre. It's not even the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you could say, they both independent hip hop rap, you know, artists, but it's like, but this nigga does something completely different than what this nigga does. Like it's not even in the same universe, nigga. Like, could they be on the same song? Sure, but the music that Words does and the music that Benny does, it's not even the same thing. And like, if you're a fan of Benny, like, are there crossover fans? Sure. But there's probably a lot of people who like this who don't like this.
Right. Yeah.
And vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, and that works to each artist's favor to some extent, because at least you know who you're talking to. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, I know who these 300 motherfuckers, I know who they are. Like, I know who they are. I know what they like. I know what their sensibilities are. I know what matters to them. Like, Griselda did the ill thing, and they figured out who their fans were. Like, these are the motherfuckers that fuck with us. They like fashion. They like wrestling. They like this. So we can narrow it down and sell straight to these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like streaming platforms are kind of like the testers, and then you could build your core audience, and then you could put it behind a paywall. But going back to what you were saying, I guess in relation to like the selling point of it, like, I think even like some of the established artists that realize that there's not a lot of money to make with streaming, now you see they'll bundle up their stuff. Like Nas did the whole King's Disease trilogy and Magic trilogy, and you know, you could get the physical copy, you could get the merch associated with it. Like, people are starting to realize that there has to be other things if you're going to actually monetize your artistry rather than relying on streams.
I agree. I've said for a long time, I wish some of the legacy artists or classic, whatever you want to call them, I wish Ghostface would go, you know what, bro? Supreme Clientele 2 is only available at ghostfacekiller.com.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, and like, put all your energy into it. Because like, sometimes when guys, when quote unquote big artists like a Ghostface or like a Redman or something, like, the stuff that they do that with is not their best. Yeah, it's throwaway shit. Yeah. But like, to me, I mean, for lack of a better term, but like, to me, like, what if Muddy Waters 2, that this nigga's been working on for 5 years, what if he really like made it really ill, but then you had to go to him to get it? You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, he would
keep fan base. That's how you create your, or you keep your fan base.
Well, here's the thing: you figure, like, if people business acumen was actually good, then you would step back and you probably be able to say to yourself, like, look, you know, like, the cost of recording is substantially less than what it was before. Your marketing is now taking out your phone and doing what you need to do by way of marketing. Everything is direct to consumer. So before, when it cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to record a project, that ain't happening no more. Even with producers, like, I don't see a person going to Swiss Beat and getting $1 million beat or $100,000 beat no more.
Yeah.
You know, so
but
all the cost has been reduced drastically.
If Roc Marciano could do it, then people at a level up than Roc Marciano could do it. And then people at a level up could do it, right? So like in my head, like even to the level of like somebody like Drake, I'm like, shit, if I'm Drake.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna have OVO.com and I'm gonna put out my next project. It's gonna be $20 a pop for the zip, and you're not gonna get it on streaming. And you know, you think like I just saw some shit the other day. Drake just crossed like 1 billion streams or some wild, right? Yeah. What if, obviously, if he did that album on OVO.com, it's not gonna do 1 billion, right? But like, he could do like 200,000.
He could do a third of that.
Yeah, like he could
do big numbers on his own,
huge numbers off of that, and not even have none of the overhead, like you were saying. Like, bro. Like, I don't understand why motherfuckers is not on that train yet. It would be out of control, bro. It would
because the optics of it. I remember watching an interview, and I think Jadakiss was in it or something like that. And Jadakiss was like,
Hustle was on it. He had the mindset.
Yeah. But did you ever see the interview where Jadakiss was talking about like, I like the major label push to promotion. I like getting advanced, and I like all the stuff or whatever. But those days to me is over. Like, you know, I think what you're saying is accurate. Like if you have 500 core fans that if you know every time you drop, they're going to spend $10 on your project, you know. Jim Jones, I think, tapped into that a lot during COVID also. You know, like Jim Jones put out a lot. I would have never thought I would have seen the day where I felt like Jim Jones may have exceeded Cameron as a rapper.
Yeah.
But, you know, Jim Jones, I think his business acumen has really gotten to a place, and his work ethic has showed that the dude knows what he's doing in terms of like marketing and selling music. Like he was probably in the lab recording at home, you know, for next to nothing and using relationships to get beats and then turning around.
That's right.
So
well, you know, the thing that frustrates me about that, and I mean, you just said it, is it's an inability to move on from old sensibilities a little bit. Because like, let's keep it a stack, bro. Like, Jadakiss is not getting any new fans. So what the fuck do you need a big marketing budget for? Like, everybody who wants to buy a Jadakiss album is going to know that it's out.
Yeah, I got
it. They already fucking follow you on social media and shit. Like, you don't really need it the same way that you did. Like, it ain't like Jadakiss is like, the marketing budget in my head is to make sure that your main people know about it, but also so new people can know about it. But like Jadakiss doesn't make any new fans. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you like, it's those the ability to get new fans, I think, is kind of dead for somebody who's out for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? In a major way. Like, so really all you're fucking with is Jadakiss fans. You know what I'm saying?
People who grown up with you.
People who grown up with you. People who already like you. So just fucking hit them niggas. Hit them straight over the head, bro, and you're gonna be lit. And like, you got enough famous friends to be able to get cross promotion on their social media platforms and shit. You could spend a little money putting advertisements in some different places and shit. But the money you're gonna make back is gonna be so lit. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it makes too much sense.
I think Kanye was trying to do something like that, but I think his thought process was too big. Because remember, Kanye
with that device,
the device thing. I thought
the problem with that was the device, though.
The device part, yeah.
The
idea was good. The idea was good.
Great. The idea was great. Hey, but you know what? It wasn't really a problem because it sold. It actually worked.
Yeah.
You know? Like, if you remember when that shit dropped, it sold a lot. It sold a shit ton. You know, the website crashed, all types of shit. Like, it kind of did work. You know what I mean? Like, and I think another part of the idea with the device was so that it doesn't really leak onto the internet.
Yeah,
you know? He got it isolated.
Yeah, but like, bro,
there's like, I think early on though, like, there are artists who put a negative connotation on independent. Like, remember back in the days, they was calling Koch and Lansby hip hop's graveyard. Yeah, and I think like some of the older rappers are still stuck in that mindset. Like, I don't want to go independent because if I'm not on a major, it makes it seem as if I failed or I'm not relevant anymore. And they're not actually thinking about the financial element of being independent.
It's a fact.
Those major labels, they're not making money anymore. You got those dudes trying to do all types of gimmicks. If you look at the stuff that they put down and trying to do now, They're basically trying to rebrand themselves to stuff like publishing agents and publicists and all types of other stuff.
Yeah,
ain't nobody trying to nobody's going to a major label.
It's a different game now. It's definitely a different game, and that's why, real talk. That's why the kids are dominating, is because they don't care about all the same shit that we care about, bro. Like even me, man. Like
you push shit out as fast
I fight with myself daily, because I'm like, I'm overthinking this shit. Because these niggas don't care about shit. They just run, nigga. Go. And I'm like, my brain, so I do understand it, because my brain is like, damn, like there's a level of like, I gotta care to like this much level, but even that much level is how they get up on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't care, bro. They run. Like, so my man was saying to me the other day, he's like, yo, what if we just don't mix the next album? I'm like, what do you mean don't mix the next album? Like, are you serious?
Throw it out there.
So I'm like, so my first thought was like, nigga, are you crazy? Then I was like, explain this to me. Like,
let me hear a little more about this.
Yeah, he was just like, yo, like, I mean, they just listening to it on their phones anyway. And I was like, like, it happened.
Be open to that evolution. You gotta be open to that evolution, because people recording on their phones now.
Son, that's what I'm saying.
Everything on their phone.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a different way of thinking, man, and it is tough because we came from the album era, and I don't think that's how the kids look at it, man. I mean, people that's 10 years younger than me, I'm 39, 10 years younger than me, they ain't listen to no album as an album.
You know what's happening? Dudes right now, somebody got a microphone, forget all the setup, rapping directly into iMovie, hit enter and upload.
They got all types of programs these kids is working with. Like, you would think that they went to a major studio. Like, I've talked to some young people and listen to the quality of some of this stuff, and some of them have never been in a studio. They don't know what that experience is like. They like in their room late at night when everybody's asleep, rapping on some software or something on their cell phone. Kid you not? The app for that.
I don't know if Rob and Ken have a question. I just got one last question. I usually ask like the dudes who come on that I feel are like really good MCs and wordsmiths. Give me your 5 rappers, and why? Rappers, not a rapper, a rapper's rapper.
All right, so I'm gonna bring y'all in on a little secret. There's a secret society of MCs.
Okay.
And we all know about each other.
Let's talk about that.
Right? Like, we know. And I developed this thought in my head because, I know some MCs from different walks of life and different whatever. That's MCs, right? But like, the rap, this 50 billion rappers and shit. Like, you just don't know everybody, right? Mm-hmm. But the super MCs, the other super MCs, they know about the other super MCs. Like, nah, I know who that is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just like, yeah, I know. So like, there's some guys, there's definitely some guys out there that I'm like, yeah, that nigga's crazy with it. Superstition. Shout out my guy Superstition. Super's on the Last of the Mohicans. Mm-hmm. Justice League fam, all the whatever. Super is a monster on the mic. Every time I'm sitting and getting ready to do something with Super, I gotta like mentally prepare myself. Because the thing is, what niggas is gonna do. Yeah. So like, I know what he gonna do, more or less, right? Super guy, he do flip styles and shit. But like, when I say I know what he gonna do, like I know he's gonna get busy, right? So like, I gotta get my mind ready for like the busy that I know he gonna get, so I can keep up and whatever like that. So Superstition is definitely one of them. 2 guys that's in my crew, Planet Asia and Tri-State. Planet Asia and Tri-State, 2 of the illest ever. Chain, all day. Whenever Tri-State send me a verse, I almost don't even want to open this shit. Because I'll be like, this nigga Tri-State, bro. Like, god damn. So he's crazy with it. And then of course PA is the god. He's a legend. And every time Planet Asia makes rap look so easy, it's not even fair. So I would say them 3 guys for sure. I would throw Roc Marciano on that list. Roc is this.
His story is dope, man. The whole flip mode and it didn't work out, and the Buster spun the block and all that. Yeah.
And he was always super nasty. Like if you go way back, like his style has evolved and changed and twisted and whatever. What hasn't changed is he's always been super nasty. You know what I'm saying? And he's just a killer. He's just so good. He's so good at rapping. I had somebody else in my head. Who was it? I said Super, Tri-State. Oh, and I would add Elzai to that list.
Elzai. Wow.
I would add Elzai to that list.
Ain't shit.
Elzai.
Yeah. I just did a joint with Elzai over a Ono beat.
See, this is crazy.
Yo, what are your thoughts on Saha?
All right, so Saha is crazy with it, but I'm gonna keep it a stack. Like his flavor don't touch me the right way.
I got you.
So like I'm a sucker for LMCs, but I'm more of a sucker for flavor than LMCs. Like I would choose flavor over lyrics every day of the week, twice on Sunday, right? So like I'd rather do a song with Old Dirty Bastard than do a song with Saha. And
I get you.
I just want spirit and flavor. Not to say that Saha don't have spirit or flavor. It's just not my cup of tea spirit. So like when it don't touch me like that, I don't give a fuck what lyric tricks you're doing. Like it just don't move me. You know what I'm saying? But that's look, bro, I don't watch battle rap. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't watch battle rap at all. I have no interest in it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who these niggas are. Nothing. Sometimes guys will be playing like, yo, peep this scheme in this bar. I'm like, get this shit out of here, man. I don't hear that shit because to me it's not music, and I like music. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a poet for poet's sake. You know what I'm saying? I like music, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear. I'm not a poet for poet. I want to hear a song. I want to hear fucking some.
Yeah, that's like one of the biggest criticisms that battle rappers take, that they can't make a good song. Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny? I don't even know what kind of songs they make or don't make.
They don't be good.
I'm saying I don't want to watch them a cappella rap. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not with the shit. And I came up battling, but we was freestyling over beats. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we was coming up doing freestyling over beats. But like that whole like, I just don't care about I don't care about lyrics that much. You know what I'm saying? Like I care about lyrics. I'm a lyricist, but I don't care about lyrics that much. You know what I'm saying? Like Jesus Christ, I still want to flavor out, bro. Like I still want to.
Well, if you think about it, like what you're saying with Saha, like to me, Saha is definitely lyrical, but Saha is not. He's not a dude that really moves the needle in terms of you hear him, you be like, damn, the wordplay is crazy, but there's nothing really there that makes him creates any kind of distinction other than this dude is just really nice at putting words together, kind of thing.
And really, all I've heard of Saha, in all honesty, is like radio freestyles, right? And every time I've heard one, I'm like, oh God, this motherfucker's out of control. But none of it made me go look him up to hear the songs.
Yeah, the songs are not good.
Same thing. What's my man that rap real hard? RJ Payne.
RJ Payne.
Right? Which, by the way, I don't know if RJ Payne tunes into y'all shit or not, but I got a message for RJ Payne, which is my aunt told me that he's my cousin, apparently.
Wow.
So I was just like, word? She's like, yo, you know RJ Payne? Like, you rap, right? You know RJ Payne? I'm like, how the fuck do you know RJ Payne and shit? He's like, that's your cousin. You know your aunt on the other side. You know how that shit go and shit like that. So RJ Payne, you my cousin, B. You know what I mean? Holla at the kid. But like RJ Payne like goes crazy on the radio, right? I haven't turned that into listening to the joints yet. You know what I'm saying? And I think he goes crazy on the radio. Like every time I hear a freestyle, I'm like, this dude is going bananas. But I don't know. There's just a thing to translate that into now I want to hear the records. Yeah. And I even fight with that myself because I don't want to be this lyricist where you don't want to hear the songs.
I got you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I want you to feel like you can listen to the records and not get beat up with the raps. It's tough when you're a super lyricist to not do that, but that's definitely a game I'm trying to play.
But if you understand it and you saying like you understand melodies and in and out of pocket and cadence and stuff like that, then you halfway there. Because there's some dudes that I think they're straight lyricists, like they ain't thinking about cadence and melodies and any of that. They're just spitting,
Yeah. It's tough, man. It's tough. If you listen to the 84, 87 album that I did, like that record it's funky. It's funky. It got a lot of different movement to it than some of this other stuff. If you listen to Devil's Playground is not overly wordy. You know what I'm saying? Like Devil's Playground it's moody is what it is.
Moody, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's not overly wordy. There's new shit, Mohicans, is wordy to death. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I like it though.
Yeah. I
tried to word niggas to death on this one, but my logic was, well, the last two projects I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like this Last of the Mohicans for me was really trying to satiate those boom bap heads that don't want to hear none of my songs because they don't have drums on them and shit. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this real simple for y'all. I'm gonna give y'all niggas drums, and I'm gonna rap crazy on every song. So like, this way I don't hear that bullshit. Yeah, like this is for y'all. You know what I'm saying? But to keep it a stack, like I would never do. It's been 10 years since I did a record with multiple producers and features. Like I don't really do music like that anymore. Like I like doing stuff like Devil's Playground and Where the Sidewalk Is, where I get to melt into a feeling and kind of do that. But it's tough because you gotta pinpoint an audience for that because a lot of motherfuckers is like I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
So. It's a game to be played.
Yeah.
Beast, you're a beast, bro.
Yep.
Yeah. Ken, you got anything else?
Last question, man.
I'm good.
You got writing, recording, or performing?
Easy. Oh, actually, you add a third one, so that doesn't make it so.
Yeah, you like that one, right?
Yeah, you know what? That's a slick move because. So for me, the most fun that I have is writing.
Okay.
I actually had a conversation with my man, I Make Mad Beats, the other day, and I was telling him, like, I could never perform, and I love performing. I could never perform again, and that'd be good money, because, like, I get the pheromones here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the juice is here. Like, writing it, like, I'm going to go a little deeper into that. Writing it, it's that feeling between finishing the verse and recording it.
Okay.
It's like that little pocket of like anticipation of, oh shit, like I caught a body on this.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait till, you know what I mean? Like wait till I record this. And then equally that feeling of like when I first play it back in the lab for like after I record it, I'm like, woo! So on Mohicans, right? When I recorded Lemonade, right? I wrote Lemonade. The children or young people don't do this, but I was driving, writing Lemonade, right? I just caught the inspiration in the car, and I had the song written, and I was in Atlanta when I wrote it, and I was like, oh man, I gotta get home, like I gotta record this verse, like this shit is crazy. So when I had built up so much anticipation, and then when I got into the lab and I recorded it, and then I listened to it for the first time because like I had heard it in my head. So when I heard it for the first time, I was like, yeah, boy. Like, I don't ever have to perform that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, the pheromones were already hit. Like, I've already gotten drunk off that. You know what I'm saying? And that's, so it's definitely writing and recording, I would say. Writing would be at the top level because every time I sit down to write, you know how, like, great performers will say like they always get goosebumps before they walk out.
Yeah.
Like no matter who you are, like fucking Roman Reigns gets goosebumps before he comes out. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure. Like I still get goosebumps before I start writing. You know what I'm saying? Like the beats playing, I still get goosebumps. I still get nervous, like nervous. Like I'm listening to a beat and I get intimidated. I'll be like, because I'm comparing what I could do to things I have done already, and then it's like, yeah, I'll never be able to do that again. You know what I'm saying? Like I wrote this crazy shit. I'll never be able to write crazy like that again. Because writing to me is an out-of-body experience to some extent. So like it'd be almost like you start writing and then you just and then you wake up and you're like, oh shit, what happened? And then you look and it's like, oh, there's mad words on this paper. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like you never know where it's coming from.
Just know it's a microwave society with the fans, so you're only as good as your last rhyme.
That's how, yo, nigga, I put out Mohicans and my man told me 10 days. Yo,
when the new project coming out?
Listen, my own man who did the artwork, right? The nigga who did the artwork, my nigga Fells, shout out Fells. So we talking because my next album is with Planet Asia. It's called And One Rap Shit. And so 10 days after Mohicans came out, I'm talking to Fells. And I'm talking strategy of putting this Planet Asia album out. Yeah. He was like, you need to put it out like November 3rd. I'm like, what? And he's like, he's like, yo, the Mohicans just came out. You need to strike while the iron is hot. And I'm like, damn, bro, it just came out. And he's like, yeah, so now's the time. I was like, what the fuck?
Don't let up, nigga. Don't let up, bro.
Like, I got to put the album out now. It's only been 3 weeks, nigga. Like, what the fuck?
I guess, I don't know. Maybe the strategy is like, while you on the radar, keep going with it.
Like, what? Who can keep up with that? That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, that's insane. But that's true. Like, the fans are going to ask you, what's next? What you want next, you know? Right. And, the nice thing about me is I write at a high quantity as well. So there's a lot of stuff that's kind of ready to go. There's a lot of, I guess you could say, politics and things to putting out every record. But I got probably 5 or 6 joints in the tuck that's ready to run. Nice. So that, like, when I say ready to run, like, artwork is done, songs are mixed and recorded. Like, I don't need to do anything else. Like, they're just sitting on my hard drive.
So I heard about those 150 too, those 150 sitting out there.
Oh, the new 52?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, there's a lot, bro. Like I got an album with Sadu Gold that getting ready to run.
You ever thought about doing a joint with Roc Marciano?
I mean, I don't know Roc like that. I know Jazz. I'm cool with Jazz, his manager and shit, but I don't know Roc like that. But me and PA got, we got our joint in the tuck. That's ready. That's actually probably the next thing that's coming out. Working on an album with Tri-State. Me and Tri-State got the same birthday, so that's kind of a ill, synergy right there. I got a project with my man Sharp coming up, and then me and Deli gonna do our follow up to Playground, and a couple things. I was in Brooklyn for a show with my man K Burns the other day, and did a 3-track EP while I was up there with my man Biz. That's probably coming out Tuesday or Wednesday. So, just trying to stay busy, man, and keep running these things out. I need niggas to understand that they cannot fuck with me on this mic, and I decided the only way to let that be known is to just keep busting these raps off, man.
Yo, I don't know any other way to close out than with that.
That's a mic drop moment right there.
Yo, we got your IG. We got your IG on the screen. But if anybody else wanted to get in contact with you, any other way, how would they go about doing it?
Yeah, I mean, the best way is just to hit me on the IG. That's a good way to hit me, or to, DM me or whatever like that. Midnight Society Music is midnightsocietymusic.net is where the album is at. Gold Chain Music all day. Just come find me. For producers, I'm not soliciting for no beats. So producers be in my DMs all the time, like, yo, I'm gonna send you beats. Don't send me no beats. I'm straight. I got more beats that I could ever rap on in my life. You know what I mean? Like, Hold them shits over there. But if you're doing a project and you need a feature or whatever like that, the DM is a good way to go. But people be wanting to give me beats for me. Like I don't need any beats. Like I'm super straight. Like I can't rap on all the beats I have, bro. Like I got folders and folders and folders of really ill beats. Like it's just who has the time to rap on 70,000 beats? You know what I'm saying? So like, just chill.
We appreciate you, man. Thanks for pulling up and joining the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Midaz the Beast. Sulu, everybody. We'll catch you next week on the
Big love.